Do you feel like you are constantly chasing things in pursuit of happiness? Maybe you feel like you're on this never-ending hamster wheel, but you just can't find the happiness that you desire. Now, if this sounds like you, then this video is for you. Hey there, Renee Collins here, CPA financial planner and the founder of Retire Ready, a company that is dedicated to helping families as well as business owners to save more, invest smart, and to build wealth. Now, if this is your first time at this channel and you find this information helpful, please don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. I was traveling to the financial therapy conference about a week ago, and I had a 4-hour flight from Chicago to what was supposed to be sunny San Diego, although there really wasn't a lot of sun in San Diego except for the last day of the conference, and it seems like that tends to happen a lot, whether you're on vacation or you're attending a conference. So at any rate, doesn't matter much. It was still a very good conference. But while I was on the plane, I decided I wanted to watch a movie. I had a pretty stressful week and I wanted to just relax. So I decided, you know what? I am going to choose a children's movie to watch. And I chose The Trolls. I was attracted to these bright little critters. They caught my eye. But what was interesting about this movie is that about 10 minutes into the movie, I wasn't quite sure if I was watching a children's movie because there was a reference to Bergens eating trolls. I don't know about you, but that sounds a little bit dark to me for a children's movie. And I think if I had young children, I'm not sure that I would want them to watch the movie. But hey, that's just me. Let me provide you with some context if you've never seen the movie. The movie Trolls is basically centered around these vibrant little trolls who are known for their constant state of happiness. They're always singing and dancing and hugging, while the Bergens, on the other hand, they're a little bit dark and unattractive creatures who believe that the only way for them to experience happiness is by consuming the happy little trolls. So right away, my mind went into curiosity mode. Who told these Bergens that consuming trolls was the key to their happiness? And why had they accepted this belief as their truth? To me, this movie was a classic in art imitating life. The Bergens had this sad existence, but they were convinced that consuming the happy little trolls would allow them to experience joy. So, in other words, they were seeking happiness and joy outside of themselves. How many times have you felt like you were not happy and perhaps you were not quite sure why? So you started to look around outside of yourself, thinking or believing that there was some force external to you that could bring you happiness. It's the bigger forever home, the luxury automobile, designer clothes, anything that would help you soothe that ache or that void that you were feeling. Now, we've been programmed to believe that our happiness is tied to our possessions. More stuff, more happiness. At least that's what the retailers would like for us to believe. But in reality, it's just not true. In Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's book, Happy Mind, Happy Life, he talks about core happiness. He describes core happiness as a 3-legged stool, and each leg is separate, but it is also essential. Now, if one leg is knocked away, then our feelings of happiness will probably collapse. So let's talk about these 3 elements of happiness. The first leg of the stool is contentment. He states that being content is about being at peace with your life and your decisions. Now, when I think about contentment, I think about operating from a place of gratitude, being grateful for all that I have, grateful for being able to record this video, grateful for family, for health, grateful for the awareness of this moment. Another aspect of contentment is being fully present in the moment. In Ken Holder's book, Happy Money, he states that our purpose as humans is just to be. Being fully present is the premise of mindfulness. It's the practice of focusing your awareness entirely on the present. It involves not allowing your mind to wander to past regrets or think about who wronged you or what wronged you or future worries, but instead, it's all about appreciating now. Thinking about the future, it can create a lot of anxiety and stress and general happiness for a lot of people. But when we can bring ourselves back to the present, according to Ken Holder, it places this distance or this barrier between our urges of wanting more by allowing us to find joy in the moment that we are experiencing now. The second leg of the stool is alignment. Feeling aligned means that the person you want to be and the person you are actually being out in the world are one and the same. The way I think about alignment is basically around our identity. That is, our values, those things that are important to us, and our beliefs. They are in alignment with our actions and our behaviors. In other words, we are walking in our truth. So this concept basically revolves around being true to you. So if you say that health is important to you, then you are likely to exercise on a regular basis. And more than likely, you're also going to be someone who is cognizant about what it is that you're putting into your mouth and your body. Like I said, you are being true to who you are. The last leg of the stool is control. And that means feeling that nothing within reason has the power to overwhelm you. Or the way I like to think about it is you have agency over your life. You have power, the power within yourself to impact the outcomes that you desire for yourself. If any one of these legs is no longer in balance, then the stool is going to topple over. And that is going to cause us to feel discontentment. We're not going to feel like we're in control of our lives anymore, or our equilibrium is going to feel like it's out of sync. When this happens, we're going to start looking for solutions that make us feel better, even if that fix is for a short term. Dr. Chatterjee calls this junk happiness. It is the things that we use to numb the pain of living. It could be grabbing your phone and scrolling through your phone, looking at social media. It could be shopping online, going through Amazon and buying things that you know you don't need or can't afford. In other words, what some people call retail therapy. Now, I know I'm just as guilty as anyone else because during COVID, I was shopping online, surfing Amazon, ending up with a bunch of Amazon boxes at my front door. And while these escapes, they may feel good in the moment, they do come at a cost. And that cost is your long-term happiness. Accumulating more stuff is not going to guarantee you happiness. As a matter of fact, research shows that this is not the case. If I can go back to the trolls for a moment, you'll see that they found happiness in connecting with one another through song and dancing and hugging, pursuing their passions and providing service to one another. These things don't cost anything. The pursuit of happiness, it blooms from within. The trolls didn't need the latest gadgets or the designer brands in order for them to feel fulfilled. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with desiring nice things. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have a better quality of life for yourself and your family. That's human nature. It's human nature to want to pursue something better. But what's important is understanding our desires and our needs and defining why we want certain things. That's the key to finding true happiness. Dr. Chatterjee, he explains this perfectly in his book. And he's asking, what is the intention? Meaning, we should think about the real reasons behind our actions and our wants. For example, in his book, he talks about drinking wine. So if you're sipping wine and laughing and connecting and having a great time with your friends at the bar, that is way different from drinking a half a bottle of wine alone because you feel lonely. While it's the same action, or as he puts it, it's the same drug, but different intention. Now, this can be further illustrated by one of the speakers at the Financial Therapy Conference. He provided another example, which is around wanting fancy stuff. And the example that he used was a yacht. Say you dream of buying a yacht just because it's something that you've always wanted. It is your passion for the sea, the freedom of sailing, or maybe you just love the sight of the boat. That is your true desire talking. But if you get a yacht just because you want to impress everyone at the yacht club, because you want to be the man or the woman, then that could be a different conversation. And it could also be a recipe for a serious letdown. Because chasing other people's approval, well, that's going to be a never-ending game. There's always going to be someone out there who's going to have a bigger, newer, better yacht. So if your happiness is tied up in what other people think about you, then likely you're never going to be truly happy. Being happy is all about balance. It's about knowing who you are. What are your desires? What are your needs? And when we can do these things that reflect our true self, rather than just trying to keep up with appearances or trying to keep up with the Joneses, that is when you're going to find the kind of happiness that sticks around. Now, the last lesson that I want to note from the movie is that in the movie, the trolls seem to be always happy. And that's not reality. It's completely okay and human nature for our happiness to be on a spectrum. So we'll ebb and flow in our happiness journey. In real life, we're going to experience a range of emotions. We're going to be sad, we're going to be frustrated, we're going to be angry. All of this is a part of the human condition. These emotions, they're just as important as happiness because they help lead us to personal growth. They help us to build resilience and a deeper understanding of what truly brings us joy. They remind us that happiness is not this permanent state, but it's a journey. And it's one that involves navigating through various emotions and experiences. Now, to sum this up, let's start with the three-legged stool. Let's go back to that. Contentment. Happiness is about being okay. Okay with our life, okay with our decisions. Being grateful for everything that we have and living in the present moment. It's about alignment, living our lives according to how we see ourselves, ensuring that our behaviors and our actions are in alignment with our identity. It's also about control. Remember, you have more control over your life than you realize. Everything that you need to be happy is within you. It's not some external force that's out in the world. It's right here within you. Now, here's some takeaways from the movie The Trolls. Relationships, they matter. A little song, a little dance, lots of hugging, it can go a long way. Live your life serving others and in pursuit of your passions and your purpose. Well, listen, guys, that is all that I have for today. Let me know what brings you joy, what brings you happiness. Let me know in the comments. And listen, this is going to be different for everyone. I wish you well. Now go be great today, and don't forget to subscribe.